Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of the Operation Motorsport podcast. I'm joined tonight by Casey Sobel, Damian Castro, and Sean Bramer. I'm Richard Davenport. I'm a U.S. Army and Navy veteran, and I'll let everyone else introduce themselves. Start with Casey, I guess.
I'm Casey Sobel, a 19-year RCAF aircraft mechanic.
Damian.
Damien, I'm a 13-year U.S. Army veteran.
Mr. Sean.
20-year U.S. Navy. Was an aviation ordnanceman while I was in.
Nice.
Awesome. So
Played
we'll
with
start it off
bombs.
with Mr. Sean here. I'll turn it over to Casey. Let him ask him the questions.
Yeah, so Sean, just get you to introduce yourself a bit, kind of tell us what you did in the military and how you found Operation Motorsport.
Like I said a moment ago, 20 years in the Navy, built bombs, worked on the aircraft and armament systems at eye level for the majority of my time in. Used to the troubleshooting and things. So the sim racing stuff was right up my alley with all the tech tweaking and everything that goes on with that. I found Operation Motorsport through Damien. He and I had raced in another league and he mentioned it and I came and checked it out and here I am.
So I know we're only like 2 races into the season, but what do you thought of the league so far?
It's one of the best leagues I've ever been in so far. The people are laid back. Nobody seems to be overly aggressive when it comes to the competition side of it. We're here to have a good time, not beat each other around on the track. So that's kind of refreshing compared to some of the other series I've been in.
He's honored
Yeah,
bound to say that because he's the beneficiary points leader right now. So
Give it another race, that'll change.
And how have you found using sim racing as kind of like diversion therapy?
To put it the best way I can, my wife says I can tolerate you now. Since I started sim racing, my whole attitude has changed in real life. It gave me the bit of adrenaline junkie I needed without being overly dangerous. So it was a great trade-off around. I get out of the rig, I'm sweating. And I know that I know I've been doing something and I find it amazing. So it gave the competitiveness that I was lacking, the camaraderie I was lacking, and a great outlet for a lot of aggression, I guess you could say. Like I said, the wife tells me my attitude has completely and totally changed since I started sim racing. So it is a wonderful aspect of that.
Awesome. And just if you had anything to say to someone that's maybe on the fence trying out the league, any tips or words you'd like to tell them?
Do it. Don't worry if you're good. Don't worry if you're bad. Do it. It's fun. It doesn't matter if you're in the back, in the front, mid-pack. It doesn't matter. Just come out and have some fun with us. If you have questions, there's all sorts of people in the Discord all the time to answer questions.
Yeah, and I can definitely attest to, even if you're terrible, I sit at the back and I still have a blast.
We all started somewhere. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but Damien will tell you that there's a plethora of people in the Discord all the time. Jump in, ask a question. Someone will have an answer or a resource. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about sim racing directly. I mean, hey, my computer's being a pain in the rear because it's doing this thing. Someone will try to help you.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all I really had for you, Sean. I
Okay.
appreciate you coming on and chatting with us.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
yeah, like I said, you're free to hang out if you want to hang out, or you can head out, whichever you want to do.
I'll hang out for a moment and listen to
All
y'all.
right, cool. So staying with Casey real quick, we'll go to the real life motorsports stuff. We had some few events up in Canada now. We had CTMP with FEL and NASCAR Canada. So Casey, you were there.
Yeah.
You can tell us how it went.
Yeah, so it went pretty smooth for our first race. I'm with the Radicals. Honestly, now the first one was a little while ago, so I can't remember how we placed. I do know our token Aussie did have a crash, but we all finished. All the cars did finish, so that was good. And then NASCAR kicking off was a blast on the Canadian side too.
Yeah, it's really fun having been given the opportunity to go up there and watch those NASCAR Canada cars lap. It's a whole different breed of racing, man. It was really cool. And even seeing the Trans Am cars last year,
Yeah.
it was really cool too. Yeah, so if you get a chance to go north of the border and look at the NASCAR Canada series, I highly encourage you to do so. It's a fun time watching them sling those cars around. And then you had Calabogie as well, right?
Yeah, so I just got back from Calabogie like Monday, I think. Other good race. We had a guy on pole who ended up crashing his car after that, and then we did have a second a fourth and a sixth place in the Radical race. There was a couple of unfortunate big crashes over there. A Miata that went in real bad. And on the bad side of it, we did have a photographer that got injured pretty bad from a barrier hitting him. They didn't really realize he was there until they were putting the wall back together. But he is in the hospital. It was Philippe Bertrand, so wish him all the best and hopefully for a quick recovery.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Yeah, absolutely.
always my biggest fear too when I'm out at the track is like, have a just a lapse of focus for just a second. And I'm not saying that's what happened here, but something distracts you and something go wrong or you just simply can't get out of the way. It could be a bad time. So we certainly wish for Mr. Bertrand's speedy recovery. I think were you able to ever figure out what the other event at Caliboga was?
I didn't find out what the other one was. I know there was talk of, I think it was a marshal that may have passed away, another in Canada. I didn't get
Or
a
was it
chance to get it
Caliboga?
from. No, I think it was in Southern Ontario, but I didn't get word of exactly who it was or the circumstances.
Hopefully, I don't know. There's not really a silver lining to that one. Hopefully nothing happened. Maybe it's just like a rumor or it went wrong or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, but just another thing. Like some of this stuff might bring up some of your military or even just normal civilian life things that have happened. So you should always be vigilant when you're there and don't be afraid to feel the emotions either, because everyone goes through it.
Right. And then we had on the IMSA side, they also raced up in Canada at CTMP. Did you make it out for that, Casey, or did you stay home for that one?
No, I stayed home. I wish I was there.
Yeah, that would have been a cool race to see. Congratulations to the CrowdStrike team. They got P2 there in
Yep.
the LMP2 class, so that's pretty cool. I'm trying to look at the results because I didn't get to watch the race and see if we had anybody else podium. Congrats to Mike. No, that's Pratt Miller. No, I'm sorry. That's Pratt Miller's LMP2 team. Let's see. So, no, doesn't look like the GTPs didn't race there.
No.
And I don't see Pratt Miller's Corvettes there. Interesting. Oh, there it is. P4 in class for them. So that's not a bad result. P4 in class. Take that.
Yep.
And then what else do we have? I think that's it in the real world. Besides, we're looking ahead to Markham Indy. You got
Yep.
Three Rivers, Trois
Yep.
Riviere. You
Trois
laugh every time I
Riviere.
say it.
Yep.
Yeah, we got, and then the 6 hour Road America for IMSA are the next real world events. So Three Rivers, I've heard, is beautiful, right? Like, isn't it like one of the most beautiful
Yeah,
racetracks ever?
it's a amazing track. There's like giant screens. You can watch the race from the pits. You can see everything. You've got announcers. So, I mean, for me, that's the best track I've been to for setup.
And are you going to the Indy race?
Yeah, they'll be back to back. So do Trois Riviere in a couple of weeks. And then the next week is the first ever Markham Indy. So that should be pretty cool to see.
How do you feel about the transition from Toronto?
I think it's actually going to be awesome. A lot of the drivers have said the track is going to be a better layout. It's a better track. There's a lot of history that goes with doing it at the exhibition center in Toronto. But I think having this change a little out of the right downtown Toronto is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Let's see. I think that's it for the real world sim racing. Let's see, Damien, you can talk about this one. We had the 24 hours of Spa, so I'll let you
We did.
participate.
We did. The team did really well. We started, if I remember correctly, I think we started in 12th, I think. And
Yeah, I'm
then,
pretty sure.
or yeah, it was either 12th or like, it was somewhere up there. I don't remember, but we were doing really good. I think we got up into the top 10 and we had Cam was in the car. Cam was doing phenomenal as he always does. And, he got taken out by an individual who thought going through the bus stop 3 wide was how you race at Spa, which it's not. You don't go 3 wide in that turn. But that dropped us down to 54th, and then we spent the last 24 hours. The guys put in a lot of work, a lot of time. Shout out to Brian, one of our new guys, super consistent on the track. Shout out to the rest of the guys that raced with us. Casey actually participated in his first ever endurance race and did phenomenal in the car. I don't care what he says, but he did great, especially for his first major endurance race.
And now
But
he's
we ended up. Oh yeah, now he's hooked. Now he needs to come back and do the 6 hours of Road America, which is coming up here this weekend. Anyway,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler alert. But we ended up finishing 22nd overall. The guys were really happy about it. You know, I mean, we could have done way, way better. We had a lot of incidents that we had to go through. And it was, especially with the rain and stuff that dropped during the race, it really, or at the beginning of the race, excuse me, it really kind of put a damper on qualifying and stuff. So good race altogether. Going back to our spoiler alert, we're prepping for, I think we've got 3 cars currently,
3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah, for the 6 hours of Road America. This is actually the first time we're gonna be running in all 3 classes. So we have a GTP car, we have an LMP2 car, and we have a GT3 car. So that's gonna be really entertaining. I've stepped up to the big boy cars with Brandon Mateo. We're driving the GTP, which is, it's interesting to say the least. One of the running jokes everybody has with those cars, especially in iRacing, is you have to think about hitting the brakes and ask permission from your GTP car as to whether or not you're allowed to brake. But it's an awesome car. I love driving it. Brandon's had a blast with it. We're doing really good. We're hoping for a good run this weekend, and I think we should. I think we should have a really good run. So
Is Tanner still racing with y'all?
I hope so. I hope so. I haven't heard from him. I know he's super busy with his everyday job. So I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, but if he does, we've always got an open seat for our guys. We've always got an open seat for anybody. You know, if you guys are watching and you guys are contemplating it, or you're really interested in being a part of our endurance team, you know, get into our program, get into our Discord, reach out to our team principal, Nolan, let him know, and we'll get you in the team. We'll get you driving. I mean, Brian is a perfect example of that. Brian joined our program right before the beginning of season 13 start. He found out that we were doing a 24-hour spa and was like, "Hey guys, can I drive it?" And we were like, "Absolutely." So put him in the car and trial by fire for his first 24-hour race. So I mean, it wasn't like me and Sean. Our first 24-hour race was the 24-hour of Nords. Which that's a great way to get broken into the endurance
Yeah.
world. But now I'm hooked.
Right?
Now I'm hooked. I can't get
Trying
away
to think,
from it.
my first endurance race was Petite Le Mans, and it was me, Nolan, and Dave. We had just
That
come
would be a
back
good run.
like the weekend before from the real Petite Le Mans, so that was pretty cool to get to drive
Nice.
it.
That'd be a good
Sean,
group to run with.
yeah, Sean, you got to do what? You've done the Nürburgring with Opmo so far? Excuse me, Operation Motorsport with Shell. Don't beat me up.
I've also did 6 hours of Glen.
You did, yeah. So
Yeah, but he
have
didn't
you?
do 1 6 hours of Glen.
Yeah, you did
He
like
did
3 of them,
like
didn't you?
4 or 3
Yeah,
or 4 of
you
them.
did the 24 hours of the Glen.
Yeah, he did.
Kinda.
Almost. Almost. But yeah, he
I
tore it
did
up.
stints for Operation Motorsport. I did a stint with 2 other leagues,
Nice,
different guys that I've raced with in the past.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
And
And then
then,
we had season 13 kickoff. That was
yep,
awesome.
at Daytona night race.
Daytona was amazing. I had so much fun at Daytona.
And I think
Like,
season 13 is going really well. I think we had that was the largest turnout we ever had for a starting
Daytona, yeah.
race, I believe, and that was 47 drivers on the grid, which was pretty phenomenal.
Following it up with 38 Imola. And I mean, I can't get enough of lap 1 of Imola with all those cars bunched up in those really tight turns, and not a single, like, I kid you not, you can go
Yeah.
watch it on the YouTube channel. Like, you really get it. This broadcast is on the YouTube channel, but you can look through our stuff and you can look at Imola or round 2. Lap 1 was absolutely phenomenal. We did have a guy go off. It wasn't from contact. It was, he had lost control. I think he touched the grass or something and it shot his car off, but absolutely no accidents going into turn 1 or any of the turns. It was super clean all the way through the race. It's just a testament to the group of racers that we have, to the community, and I mean, I couldn't be more proud to see what our community does on a regular basis. It's awesome. I can't wait for race 3. So
How did what did you think of Daytona and Imola there, Mr. Beneficiary Points Leader?
Daytona and I don't get along real great, so I did okay. I did a lot better at Imola than I did at Daytona.
Yeah, you were
But
also the highest positions gained for that race, yeah.
for the Imola
Out of the
race,
whole field, yeah.
14 positions, I believe, is what they said. I didn't actually count. I'm going off of what they said on the watch that I went through. But yeah, to Damien's point, the The entire race was just, my God, amounts of clean. That without the cleanliness of the racing, there would have been no chance of anybody moving anywhere. We'd all been in the pits.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I had to miss the race because I had to take my kids to meet their mother. But Casey, what'd you think the Imola race?
Yeah, I thought it was a blast. It was way smoother than I expected, especially turn one, lap one. But yeah, all together, man, that was just a great race.
I think Casey and I were vying for on-track position for quite a few laps.
Yeah.
We were really close to each other, at least for a good long number of laps.
Yeah, that's also when you can get there in a group and bunch up and
Yeah.
have that little back and forth with each other. That's what makes it fun. Shout out to Race Spot, by the way, while we're talking
Yeah.
about the season, because
100%.
they do a
Yeah.
killer job with the broadcast. And like Damien said, you can watch it on the YouTube channel. Watch this season's races, watch all the other season's races. It's all good content. Well, let's see. Next race up for the league be not this coming Tuesday, but the next. We'll be heading over to the beautiful island of Japan for Fuji. That's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting race. Extremely technical track. Extremely technical track. So
But
should be a good
super
time.
fun. But super
is.
fun. I mean, the
Oh,
the
yeah.
long hanging rights that are in that track, and then super technical after you get past. Once you get towards like the sector 3, like I have so much fun on Fuji. It's not even funny. Like I enjoy it. It hates me, but I love it. So it is what it is. I got to start practicing it, but it's
We
it's
already
super
talked
awesome.
about Road America. We got at least 3 cars, possibly 4 running it, and 1 in each class. We got, let's see, it's Cam, Jordan, and is it Brian again? They're the 2 running the
Yeah, I
McLaren?
think Cam Jordan and Brian Rodriguez are in the McLaren.
Yep, and then you got
You
myself
and
and
Nolan
Nolan.
in the LMP2, and then me, Brandon Mateo, and hopefully Tanner, and the BMW GTP Evo.
Yeah, it should be a good time. And then we also have a PCA event, Porsche Club of America. Damien, I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Porsche Club of America has teamed up with us again this year with their the Lone Star region out of Texas. They've graciously hosted our charity event coming up on August 9th. You can actually go to our Grid Finder page and go to our community. Just look up Operation Motorsport. You'll see the PCA event in there. Entry to this one is $25 per entry. And I believe they're looking at, I think it's like 100 teams or 60 teams or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't have the numbers in front of me. I apologize. But it is a team race. It's a 4 hour at Watkins in the 992 GT3 or the 992 911 911R 992 GT3, whatever, the GT3R
GT3
and
RS. Yep.
the Cayman GT4 are the 2 cars that we're running for that event. So it is a 4-hour event. Come out, come race with us. I'm throwing in money to it because I absolutely 100% support it. All the money that goes to it is all getting donated back to Operation Motorsport to help get these guys not only out to the track but into our league races and stuff like that. So it's all going to a good cause. It's all going to charity. It's going to be a really good time. It's going to be a really good time. I sign up, come hang out. Let's drive. It'll be an amazing time with a bunch of loud, screamy Porsches, which is always beautiful to hear. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a good one coming up. We've got some other stuff coming up in the works. I can't really talk about it right now. Richard doesn't even know this one yet, but we're
Boy,
currently working on some other stuff. So yeah, keep your eye out, man. We've got the only one I can really talk about right now is not only is our PCA event, but our virtual veteran race of remembrance presented by CrowdStrike. So that's the next one coming up, but that's in October. We'll talk about that way, way later.
I think that covers all the bases. You guys got any final thoughts, Casey?
No, just a shout out to Auto Eclectic because they promoted me to lead technician on my own car.
Hey,
Woohoo.
So that was a blast.
congrats, brother.
Those are cool people too. Haven't met them a couple of times now. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
good
and
team.
they're trying to break into IMSA next year too. So
Oh,
good
look
things
out.
coming. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Damien?
So I did look at what happened in Canada. I brought it up. So, and I'm probably gonna murder this speedway name, and I apologize for that. But it's Flamebro Boro. Flameboro Speedway near Hamilton. The 70-year-old starter slash track worker Doug McLean did pass away. From what they're saying, what happened was he was flagging the final lap of the race when two cars collided and sent one vehicle airborne, striking the starter platform. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a
yeah,
crazy accident.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
I mean,
unfortunate.
racing is dangerous. It always is. I mean, cars traveling at hundreds of miles an hour, you know, it, inches apart from each other. I mean, let's not talk about NASCAR at 200 plus miles an hour side by side, but it's a real dangerous sport. And, being veterans ourselves, we deal with a lot of tragedy so something like this, especially for motorsport fans, can really affect you and really get you to think about some bad stuff. And if you are, definitely reach out, talk to somebody. If you're a part of our program and you're in our Discord, jump in, man. Just come hang out. There's always a place for you. Our place is always open. We love having you there. I'm sorry for the McLean family. May he rest in peace and may the family find comfort. It brings it home. You know what I mean? I mean, we joke around, especially in sim racing and launch cars, a bazillion miles in the air, but in real life, that's not something you can do. So that's my somber note for the day. My happy note is I can't wait for this weekend. I can't wait for Saturday for us to get the racing going. I can't wait for Fuji coming up. That's going to be super fun. And thank you, Sean, for coming in. Thank you for
Yeah.
for helping me make my wife angry by buying a rig and allowing me to blame you for the amount of money I spent on this thing.
You got to elaborate on that because you got Sean in Operation Motorsport, but
Yeah, yeah.
how did you
So
get into sim racing?
so so what happened is when I first got into sim racing, when
What
I
had
first
happened
met Sean,
was
what happened was when I first got into sim racing, I joined up with a group, a Discord that's called Noobs R Us, and I started racing with the guys over there. Really, really nice guys, really fun guys to hang out with. And I was racing an AC. At first, I was racing on console. I didn't have a PC, and then I ended up moving over to PC. I went and bought a PC and was like, "Dude, I want to do this." And I had my hub, but I had a really, really crappy Placey Evolution that, like, I had stuffed in a corner next to my office desk. That I had my monitor on a swivel that I would just put down in front of the rig, so that way I could race on my little rig. And I kept running into an issue with the hub, and anybody who's a sim racer understands that, with force feedback in the hub, if it's not bolted down correctly, it shakes a lot. Like it'll move a whole table. It'll with just the force it makes. And that's even a 5 Newton meter base, right? It'll move a table, or if it's not a solid point, it'll bounce up and down. So I was having a lot of issues racing an ACC with sliding all over the track because my hub kept bouncing. And one of our other guys who's a part of our organization, but he's not a veteran. He's just a huge supporter. Shout out to Nathan. Nathan made a friend in Spain
penalty.
and just absolutely took out Sean. Sean was coming around on a flying lap for his qualifying, and Nathan
Not
decided.
just a flying lap, a personal best flying lap.
Yeah, yeah. Nathan decided to start warming up the tires on the inside straightaway at Barcelona, and he swung it out to the left really hard and just absolutely took out Sean. And we ended up in the steward's room, and he was like, "I didn't hit anybody. I didn't hit anybody." And the steward was like, "Oh, really?" And showed him the video and brought Sean in, and we met Sean. That was the first time I actually met Sean, and now it's a running joke with Nathan and us is that's how Nathan makes friends, is he runs into people and now he's friends with them. But anyway, with my rig, getting back to the rig, Sean was trying to give me tips on how to, set up my rig correctly. And I sent him pictures of my rig and he was like, "Oh no, 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 no." So he started sending me what is it, rig metal and track race.
I was recommending places to draw on paper where he should look for upgrades in the future.
Yeah. And then we ended up out here in Arizona. We ended up getting our first ever Micro Center. And Sean was like, "You got to go to Micro Center. You got to go to Micro Center. They've got great deals on rigs. Go to Micro Center." And I ended up buying a set of SimLab XP1 pedals. But before I bought it, I jumped into a Discord with Sean and I was like, dude, should I buy these? Are these good pedals? And he's like, yeah. He's like, for that price, pick them up. So I brought them home, and of course they wouldn't fit on my crappy little Evolution rig. So I was super upset about it and moping around the house because I couldn't race anymore because my pedals weren't working. I couldn't use my new pedals. And my wife was like, all right, we're done. We're done. We're going down to Micro Center. You're getting your stupid rig. So I got my rig, and I instantly got home, put it together, called Sean, and I was like, bro, I got my rig. And my wife's in the background going, I
Make it
hate you,
work for me.
Sean. Yeah, well, there you go. But yeah, man, Sean and me have been racing together now for, I think, a year, 2 years now, 2, 3 years now, something like
It
that.
hasn't been 3 years because I've only been racing for 3 years.
Two,
So right
year
around
and a
2,
half,
year and a half to
2
2
years,
years,
something.
something like that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Sean's been a really good friend, and when I came over to Operation Motorsport, I had to bring Sean over. I knew Sean was a good guy. I knew he was a veteran, and I knew after racing with a bunch of the guys before even season 12 started. I knew this was a great place for veterans to be, especially veterans who are into sim racing, and absolutely had to bring him on board. At that time, he couldn't because he was racing with Noobs R Us, but Noobs R Us changed their stuff around and it opened up for him, and now he's here, which is awesome, and I'm super excited for it. And yeah, that's how you when you guys hear me and Sean giving each other mess over that kind of stuff or saying my wife is mad at him, it's because of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
This
if
is
we ever
not
meet in real life, she's gonna kick me in the shin as soon as I walk in the door.
probably, probably, I wouldn't be surprised.
not to go backwards on the final words, but we never did cover how all of us got started with sim racing, and that's something we should ask all of our guests too.
Oh yeah.
For me, I started out with so I got interested in racing and sim racing, and then so I was hanging out, and a guy that works for GSI Wheels, if you know who they are for sim racing, he had a Twitch stream, and he drove me autos all the time. So I would watch him race, and they were all goading me on, like, ask for a free wheel because you get banned in his chat if you ask for a free wheel. All right, so I was like, I'm smarter than that, but I was like, I do like at the time I was part of the Motorsport Immersion program. I was like, I am part of a veterans program that like if they wanted to donate some wheels, I know people that would be very happy to give. Didn't work out, but there was a guy in the chat that was like, hey, if you can come to Atlanta, Georgia. Turns out it was actually Macon, Georgia, which is a little bit further than Atlanta south. He was like, if you can get to Atlanta, Georgia, I got a Logitech G923 you can have. So I was like, I'll be there. When do you want me there? And he was like, if you can come like on Saturday. I was like, okay. So I drove 7 hours one way to get this wheel and the pedals and everything and clamped that to my desk. And that's how I started. And if it wasn't for Operation Motorsport, I would have given up because I'm like, this is too difficult. Like, I can't even get around the track one time. And then he wound up buying me sort of a similar situation to Damien. He was just like, what's your address? And he shipped me like a little tube frame, like $200 Amazon rig. And that's what I started out on, which now my oldest son has to drive on. And then I upgraded from there through Operation Motorsport. I wound up with some Husingveld sprints, and I bought Fanatec CSL base with the upgrade kit. So it was like an 8 Newton meter wheel. And I had, there's another guy, shout out Greg Meismer, another one of the beneficiaries that, one of the guys in his Discord was like, I have a Fanatec CSL Formula V1 wheel.
Ooh.
I'll sell it to you for $100. It's like a little beat up. So that's where I started. Now I'm on a SimMagic Alpha, SimMagic FX Pro, soon to be an emission sim. Can't wait. Shout out Manny and VPG. And now I have Constant CPP light pedals. Yeah. Casey, what about
Nice.
you?
I think you got me into this. I actually started out by helping donate to Nolan's computer. Then when I got home from the Veteran Race Remembrance, I ordered a SimMagic, like 9 Newton meter wheel, the GTDO, their pedals. Now I'm up to the SimMagic Ultra with the Zeus GT wheel. I'm waiting on a new track racer frame.
Somebody needs to send Casey a Thrustmaster wheel so he knows where the rest of us started.
Oh, like probably like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I had one just playing on PlayStation, but
Yeah.
that was just like strapped onto a desk and playing like F1.
Yeah. That's
Sean, where'd you start?
very similar to Damien. I've been playing racing games my whole life. I started out playing like Gran Turismo, not Gran Turismo 6 or 7,
Yeah, I played
Gran
the original.
Turismo. I'm an old man.
I played the original on PlayStation.
Exactly. So I played the
I mean, even
original.
before that, I played pole position on Atari.
The first racing game I ever played, I believe, was not pole position, Night Driver on the Atari.
Yeah.
Damien's got,
Damien, you're muted, I
but
think, brother.
yeah,
Ooh,
Night
yeah.
Driver on Atari. Night
I had to turn
Driver
my
on
AC
Atari.
back on. It's hot here.
You're good.
That's why he was muted. Night Driver on Atari is where I started racing. It was so I've played racing games my whole life, but after I got out of the military and we moved here to Arkansas, where I'm living at, my wife was like, "You need to find something, figure it out, because you're driving me bonkers." And I was like, "Well, I don't know what to do." And I got one of the guys I was in the Navy with is one of the founders of the Noobs R Us that he was talking about, and it happened that we were living like 2 hours apart. And he was like, "So I'm doing this thing called sim racing. Why don't you give it a try?" And I went to Walmart and bought a Thrustmaster steering wheel and strapped it to a desk and gave it a try. And I was like, this is cool. And now I'm sitting here with Cube 2 Pro and Cube Controls wheel. And I was into 3D printing, so I 3D print a lot of things for my rig and stuff like that. So building the rig has been almost as much of a hobby as the actual racing for me.
And Sean, by the way, just to not throw him under the bus, but he has volunteered too for any of the beneficiaries that if they want something 3D printed, he'll 3D print it for them and just charge them the cost of shipping. So we're appreciative of Sean for that. It's very awesome of you to do. Let's see.
Just don't ask for a cup holder.
Yeah.
Cup holders take a minimum of 6 months to get to you.
They're on back order.
They're on back order. Yeah, 100%.
It's that special color request.
Yeah, I'm like purple.
And then, Sean, final thoughts for you, sir?
To anybody thinking about jumping into sim racing at all, just do it. Go down to Walmart, get the little Thrustmaster T128. They're under $200. That $200 will be the best $5,000 you ever spent.
Yeah. Yep. And then I saw another meme too that was like, it's like sim racer math. It was like spent $5,000 to drive a $1 million car in my living room. So if you think about it, I saved $995,000.
That's right.
So
100%.
I like
and
that.
I can drive any $2 million car I want to drive.
Yep. And crash it as many times as I want. And all I got to do is hit a reset button.
And gas does it. With gas prices, this is still cheaper than a weekend at the
In
track.
this economy?
Yeah. And I guess for me, my final thoughts as always is just, if you're a veteran and you're struggling, there is a community out there for you. Even if it's not with us, don't be afraid to seek help and try to find your tribe. But if you're into racing and, you're one of these special breeds like we are, there's no better place in the world for you to be than Operation Motorsport. Head to operationmotorsport.org, click whether you're US, click the US flag. If you're Canadian, click the Canadian flag. If you're US wanting to move to Canada, I guess click the Canadian flag. But, click on there. You'll see all the programs on there. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. My email is just richard.davenport@operationmotorsport.org. I'm sure Damien feels the same way.
Absolutely.
We'd be happy to answer any questions for you and see you out there on the track with us, whether it's on the motorsport immersion side or the diversity therapy side. Thank you all for listening. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Later.
Bye-bye.